Why are many INFJs prioritizing themselves more than before? Are you an INFJ who has recently found yourself putting yourself first more often than ever before? You're not alone. For years, INFJs have been the caretakers, the healers, and the protectors of everyone else's emotional well-being. But lately, there's been a shift. Many INFJs are waking up to the realization that they can no longer pour from an empty cup. So, why is this happening, and what does it mean for you? INFJs are known for their deep empathy, idealism, and relentless pursuit of helping others. But for too long, many INFJs have placed the needs of others ahead of their own, often at the cost of their emotional and mental well-being. However, something has changed in recent years. INFJs, more than ever before, are recognizing the importance of self-care and are beginning to prioritize themselves in ways that were previously unimaginable. This shift is not about becoming selfish, it's about self-preservation. It's about honoring your needs, your mental health, and your boundaries. It's about understanding that in order to heal and help others, you must first heal and protect yourself. But what has led to this change? And how can you, as an INFJ, embrace this newfound focus on yourself without guilt or shame? In this video, we will explore key reasons why INFJs are prioritizing themselves more than ever, why this is happening, and how it can positively impact not only your life but the lives of those around you. 1. The INFJ's deep empathy can lead to self-sacrifice. INFJs are highly attuned to the emotions of others. This deep empathy often leads them to put others' needs first, sometimes to the point of self-sacrifice. The innate desire to heal and support others can create a dangerous imbalance if not properly managed. Consider the INFJ who always says yes to helping a friend in need, even if it means missing out on their own self-care or personal time. This constant self-sacrifice, though well-meaning, can leave an INFJ drained and depleted, which, over time, can lead to burnout. Recognize that your empathy is a gift, but it needs to be managed carefully. Start by setting small boundaries in situations where you feel your energy being drained. You can't help others if you're running on empty. Start with simple statements like, "I can't today, but I'm here for you tomorrow." Practicing self-awareness and checking in with your emotional state regularly will help maintain a healthy balance between caring for others and caring for yourself. 2. Burnout from constant giving leads to re-evaluation. Over time, the constant giving and emotional labor can lead to burnout. This burnout creates a necessary shift for many INFJs, an awakening that it's time to re-evaluate their approach to relationships and self-care. An INFJ might spend years providing emotional support to everyone around them, but as they begin to feel more and more exhausted, they start asking themselves questions like, when was the last time I did something for myself? Why does no one ask how I'm doing? This moment of self-awareness is often the catalyst for change. Pay attention to the signs of burnout: physical exhaustion, irritability, emotional numbness. When you start feeling disconnected or drained, it's time to take a step back and reassess your priorities. Begin by creating a list of your needs, both emotional and physical, and make sure you're actively addressing them. No one can thrive while empty. Refuel yourself with activities that bring you joy and relaxation. 3. Realizing self-care isn't selfish. One of the most transformative realizations for INFJs is understanding that prioritizing themselves is not selfish. For years, they've internalized the belief that their value lies in helping others, but true self-care is necessary for their well-being and growth. Think of the INFJ who, after years of giving without expecting anything in return, begins to feel guilty when they take time for themselves. They may worry that others will perceive them as selfish or uncaring. But the truth is, if they don't take care of themselves, they will not have the energy or emotional capacity to care for anyone else. Practice reframing your thoughts around self-care. Instead of viewing it as indulgent or unnecessary, treat it as an essential part of your personal well-being. Start small. Set aside time each week for activities that nurture your soul, whether it's reading a book, meditating, or spending time alone in nature. Affirm to yourself that you are worthy of the same care and attention that you give to others. 4. The need to set healthy boundaries. INFJs are notorious for having trouble setting boundaries, often overextending themselves in relationships and personal commitments. However, in recent years, many INFJs have come to realize that setting clear, healthy boundaries is essential for maintaining their emotional and mental well-being. An INFJ may feel overwhelmed by the expectations of others, such as always being the one to listen to their friends' problems or take on extra responsibilities at work. The need to please others often causes INFJs to ignore their own needs, but over time, they begin to understand the importance of saying no. Start by identifying areas where you feel overburdened and practice saying no when necessary. Saying no doesn't mean you don't care, it means you're taking responsibility for your own needs. For instance, instead of agreeing to meet a friend when you're exhausted, say, "I need some time for myself, but we can catch up soon." Gradually, as you practice setting these boundaries, they will become easier and more natural. 5. The desire for emotional healing and growth. INFJs often spend so much time helping others that they neglect their own emotional needs. However, with a growing awareness of their own emotions, many INFJs are now prioritizing their emotional healing and personal growth. An INFJ may have spent years ignoring their own feelings in favor of supporting others. But after experiencing emotional exhaustion, they begin to realize that they need to process their own pain, sadness, and frustration. This newfound focus on their own emotional healing can lead to a more balanced, fulfilling life. Make time for self-reflection and emotional processing. Journal your thoughts, meditate, or talk to a therapist or counselor about your emotions. It's essential to address your emotional well-being in the same way you would help a close friend. Healing is not a destination, it's a journey, and giving yourself the space to heal is crucial for your growth. 6. Understanding the importance of emotional independence. INFJs often form deep emotional bonds with others, but there comes a time when they need to develop emotional independence. They can no longer rely solely on others for validation or fulfillment. The shift towards emotional self-sufficiency allows them to cultivate a healthier relationship with themselves. Consider an INFJ who has always leaned on their partner or friends for emotional support. However, after learning to prioritize themselves, they begin to realize that they don't need to rely on others for validation or emotional stability. They become more grounded in their own identity and capable of handling their emotions independently. To cultivate emotional independence, practice self-validation. Instead of seeking reassurance from others, learn to trust your own judgment and intuition. Celebrate your successes, no matter how small, and take pride in your own progress. Building emotional independence strengthens your sense of self and frees you from relying on external sources of validation. 7. Acknowledging past mistakes and learning from them. For INFJs, self-awareness is a key element of personal growth. In order to prioritize themselves, many INFJs have taken a hard look at their past mistakes and missteps in relationships or personal decisions. This introspection is not about self-blame, but rather learning and evolving. An INFJ might realize that they've spent too much time in relationships that drain them emotionally, all because they neglected to prioritize their own needs. This reflection allows them to make better choices moving forward and to understand the value of their own time and energy. Embrace self-compassion as you reflect on past mistakes. Use those experiences as lessons to grow and make healthier decisions. Take time to understand why you made certain choices, and how you can apply these insights to future relationships or personal endeavors. 8. Developing a stronger sense of self-worth. As INFJs prioritize themselves, they are also learning to develop a stronger sense of self-worth. They realize that they are deserving of love, respect, and care, not because of what they do for others, but simply because they are. An INFJ may have previously defined their self-worth by how much they could help others or by the roles they fulfilled. However, as they prioritize their own needs, they begin to recognize that they are valuable in their own right, independent of their ability to take care of others. Develop self-affirmation practices to reinforce your self-worth. This could be through positive affirmations, focusing on your strengths, or reminding yourself of your value, regardless of external validation. Strengthening your sense of self-worth is essential for maintaining a healthy balance in your life. 9. Embracing vulnerability as strength. Many INFJs have been taught, either through personal experiences or societal pressures, that vulnerability is something to be avoided or hidden. However, embracing vulnerability is one of the most powerful ways INFJs can prioritize themselves and heal. By acknowledging and sharing their emotions, INFJs can experience true liberation and emotional growth. For years, an INFJ might have kept their emotions locked away to protect themselves from getting hurt. They might have been the strong, silent type, offering support to others without letting anyone see their own pain. But, through prioritizing themselves, INFJs begin to realize that vulnerability is not a weakness, it's an opportunity to connect on a deeper level with others, as well as with themselves. Start small by allowing yourself to express your feelings in safe spaces. Whether it's talking to a trusted friend or journaling your thoughts, practice being open about what you feel. Vulnerability helps you release pent-up emotions and builds emotional resilience. By showing your true self, you not only deepen your connections with others but also create a more authentic connection with yourself. 10. The role of personal boundaries and emotional safety. For INFJs, one of the most profound shifts they can make when prioritizing themselves is learning how to establish and maintain strong personal boundaries. Without boundaries, INFJs can easily fall into toxic or draining relationships, where they give more than they receive. Establishing these boundaries is not about being selfish, it's about ensuring that their energy is protected and used wisely. Imagine an INFJ who has always been the listener in their relationships, constantly absorbing others' problems and emotions. They may have given so much of their time and energy to help others that they begin to feel emotionally depleted and taken for granted. Recognizing this, they begin to establish clear boundaries, such as no longer answering late-night calls or turning down invitations when they need rest. Start by identifying situations that drain your energy or cause emotional distress. Once you've identified these areas, create clear boundaries. Practice saying no to commitments that overextend you. Boundaries can be emotional, physical, or mental, and it's okay to enforce them. An easy way to start is by saying, "I need to take some time for myself," or "I can't commit to that right now." You don't have to justify or explain your boundaries, they are yours to protect. 11. Letting go of guilt for choosing yourself. One of the biggest challenges INFJs face when prioritizing themselves is guilt. INFJs are deeply compassionate and empathetic, and they often feel guilty when they put their own needs first, especially when others might be disappointed or hurt. However, the truth is that choosing yourself is a necessary part of personal growth and self-care. Consider an INFJ who has spent years bending over backward to support a friend through difficult times. Now, the INFJ is feeling exhausted and overwhelmed, and they realize they need to take a break for themselves. But the thought of leaving their friend in a time of need triggers immense guilt. They worry that their friend will feel abandoned or unloved. First, recognize that guilt is a natural reaction, but it doesn't have to control all your actions. It's okay to care for yourself. To ease the guilt, try reminding yourself that by prioritizing your well-being, you are ensuring that you'll be able to support others in the future. Practice self-compassion and understand that it's not selfish to care for yourself. Self-care is not a luxury, it's a necessity for your mental, emotional, and physical health. 12. Releasing the need for external validation. INFJs often seek external validation because of their deep desire to be seen, understood, and appreciated. This is especially true in relationships, where INFJs may feel that their worth is tied to how well they can serve or help others. But when INFJs start prioritizing themselves, they learn that true validation comes from within. An INFJ might spend years trying to prove their worth to others, whether through achievements, helping friends, or pleasing family members. They might find themselves constantly seeking approval, even at the expense of their own happiness. But as they grow, they begin to understand that their worth is not tied to others' perceptions of them, it's inherent, simply because they exist. To start letting go of the need for external validation, practice affirming your own worth. Start by focusing on your inner qualities, like your empathy, kindness, and intelligence. Reflect on past accomplishments, not just those that earned praise, but those that made you feel proud because they aligned with your values. Shift the focus from what others think to what you think. You can also practice gratitude for yourself, acknowledging the positive things you bring to the world every day. 13. The importance of solitude and self-discovery. INFJs have a natural inclination towards introspection, and they often thrive in solitude. Spending time alone allows INFJs to reconnect with themselves, process their emotions, and understand their desires. It's in this solitude that INFJs can hear their inner voice clearly and begin making decisions that align with their true selves. After years of being surrounded by others' needs, an INFJ may feel a deep longing for solitude. They might crave a weekend alone to reflect, read, or engage in creative hobbies. This time alone becomes an opportunity to reconnect with themselves, without external noise or distractions. They begin to discover parts of themselves they may have suppressed or ignored in the past. Prioritize solitude regularly, whether it's a quiet walk in nature, a weekend retreat, or simply an hour spent reading in silence. Use this time for reflection, meditation, or journaling. Solitude is not about being lonely, it's about reclaiming your energy and rediscovering your inner peace. It's in these moments of solitude that you can reconnect with your authentic self and clarify your goals and desires. 14. Building a support system that honors your needs. As INFJs prioritize themselves, they also need to build a support system that respects their emotional boundaries and understands their need for self-care. This means surrounding themselves with people who genuinely appreciate their introspective nature and can offer reciprocal emotional support, not just demand it. An INFJ may have friends or family members who, in the past, took advantage of their time and energy. As the INFJ starts to prioritize themselves, they may find that certain relationships are no longer fulfilling. They begin to seek out individuals who understand the balance between giving and receiving and who honor the INFJ's need for boundaries and personal space. Evaluate your current relationships and identify those that support and uplift you versus those that drain you. It's okay to distance yourself from relationships that are unhealthy or one-sided. At the same time, actively seek out connections with people who respect your boundaries and share your values. Cultivate relationships where there is mutual understanding, support, and space for both emotional giving and receiving. Your support system should be one that empowers you, not one that demands more than you can give. INFJs, prioritizing yourself is not an act of selfishness, it is an act of self-respect and self-care. As you continue on your journey of self-discovery and growth, remember that you are worthy of love, respect, and care, not because of what you do for others, but because of who you are. By embracing vulnerability, setting boundaries, releasing guilt, and cultivating emotional independence, you are creating the foundation for a more balanced and fulfilling life. Self-prioritization doesn't mean you'll stop helping others, it means you'll be in a stronger position to offer your support without depleting yourself. You will be able to give more to others, in a way that is sustainable, healthy, and deeply fulfilling. Now that you've explored the many ways you can prioritize yourself, I encourage you to take action. Start by implementing just one of these strategies today, whether it's setting a boundary, embracing solitude, or releasing guilt. Share your journey with us in the comments below. How have you started prioritizing yourself, and what changes have you noticed in your life? Let's continue this conversation and support each other as we grow into the healthiest versions of ourselves. Stay safe, and see you in the next one.